The following is a lecture by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on July 5th, 2015 in Delhi. The lecture was about the Sri Chaitanya book project in regards to Nimai Pandit in Navadvip.
We started translating the book of Lord Chaitanya.
So we started retranslating the book on Lord Chaitanya.
We started book translation of Lord Chaitanya.
We restarted the book on the translations of Lord Chaitanya's life.
And so he was thinking about ending the Grihastha ashram.
So he was thinking about entering the Grihastha ashram.
And he said that if one's living at home, if one is living at home
He said that if one is living at home
and working, then he should have a grihini.
and he should have a grihini.
He should have a wife.
He should have a wife.
He said, it's not the fixtures that make the house, like the home.
It's not the fixtures that make the home.
It's the wife.
It's the wife.
The husband and wife together, they can achieve all the goals of human life.
The husband and wife together, they can achieve the goals of human life.
And the brahmacharis live in some temple ashram.
Brahmacharis live in some temple ashram.
If someone chooses to live outside,
If someone chooses to live outside,
they should get married.
they should get married.
And the different Sanskrit verses which were cited in this regard.
And there were different Sanskrit verses which were cited in this regard.
Some people who they don't live in the ashram.
There are some people, they don't live in the ashram,
They live outside.
they live outside,
They work outside.
they work outside,
But they're very proud to say, I won't marry.
but then they say, I won't marry.
And that's against the scripture.
That's against the scriptures.
So Lord Chaitanya, since he was maintaining his widowed wife, mother,
So Lord Chaitanya, since he was maintaining his widowed mother,
and he was living as a householder,
he was living as a householder,
but he had no house.
but
Then he had a house but no wife.
he had a house but no wife.
So he wanted to enter the Grihastha ashram and accept a wife.
So he wanted to enter the Grihastha ashram and accept a wife.
He noticed the daughter of Vallabhacharya,
He noticed the daughter of Vallabhacharya,
that it was his own Lakshmi.
that it was his own Lakshmi.
And so seeing her, he smiled.
So seeing her, he smiled.
And she also recognized him as her Prabhu. And seeing his two lotus feet,
She also recognized him as her Prabhu, and seeing his 2 lotus feet,
she mentally offered her obeisances.
she mentally offered her obeisances.
Like that, then there's a story goes on how the Vanamali Acharya,
So like that, the story goes on how Vanamali Acharya,
he was the matchmaker for, he was the most renowned matchmaker in Navadvip.
he was the most renowned matchmaker in Navadvip.
And it's interesting how in the Vedic culture
And it's interesting how in the Vedic culture,
you'd have matchmakers
you would have matchmakers
who would go between the 2 parents and try to convince them
who would go between the 2 parents and try to convince them
how this is a good match.
how this was a good match.
I started this translation now.
So I've started this translation now.
2 verses in the Chaitanya Charitamrita
There are 2 verses in the Chaitanya Charitamrita
and about 14 or no, 25 verses in the Chaitanya Bhagavat.
and about 25 verses in the Chaitanya Bhagavat.
So, like this, we have about 8 books that we refer to.
So like this, we have about 8 books that we refer to.
Some leelas are mentioned in 1 book,
Some leelas are mentioned in 1 book,
and some are mentioned in all 8.
some are mentioned in all 8,
Wow. And some in 2 or 3.
some in 2 or 3.
So we're trying to combine so like Krishna book you can get an idea of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya.
So like the Krishna book, we're trying to combine them so you can get an idea of all the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya.
But the Krishna book is taken from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam.
But the Krishna book is taken from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Where this book is from the various books about Lord Chaitanya,
Whereas this book is from various books about Lord Chaitanya
combined together.
combined together.
So it's quite interesting.
So it's quite interesting.
Lord Chaitanya is inconceivable.
Lord Chaitanya is inconceivable.
And by doing one thing, he achieves many things.
And by doing one thing, he achieves many things.
With when Sita and Ram and Lakshmana on their 14 days of exile, 14 years of exile,
When Sita, Ram and Lakshman went on their 14 years of exile,
at that time they passed through Navadvip Dham.
at that time they passed through Navadvip Dham.
And Lord Ram was smiling,
And Lord Ram was smiling.
and Sita asked him, "Why are you smiling?"
And Sita asked him, "Why are you smiling?"
He said that, "Well, this place is my dham, my abode.
He said, "This place is my dham, my abode.
I come here during the Kali Yuga
I come here during the Kali Yuga
and to spread love of Krishna, love of Godhead.
and I spread love of Krishna, love of Godhead.
So when I'm here, and in this pastime, you get redness to the forest.
So when I'm here in this pastime,
Whereas here in this pastime,
here in this pastime,
you get banished to the forest.
You get banished to the forest.
And that future pastime,
And in that future pastime,
I, in reciprocation, banish myself to the forest.
I, in reciprocation, banish myself to the forest.
While you are banished to the forest, I worship a golden image, a golden murti of yourself.
When you're banished to the forest, I worship a golden murti of yourself.
And when I'm banished to the forest,
And when I'm banished to the forest,
you worship a golden murti of myself.
you worship a golden murti of myself.
So in Navadip, there's one temple, the Mahaprabhu,
So in Navadvip, there's one temple of Mahaprabhu,
and that deity is said to have been worshipped by Sita, and by Vishnupriya.
and that deity is said to be worshipped by Vishnupriya.
So the three pastimes of Sita Ram, Radha Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya and his consorts are connected.
So the three pastimes of Sita Ram, Radha Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya and his consorts are all connected.
So sometimes Lord Chaitanya would take the Sarvabhuj form.
So sometimes Lord Chaitanya would take the Shadabhuj form,
A six-handed form,
the six-handed form,
two hands playing on the flute,
two hands playing on the flute,
two hands holding the bow and arrow,
two hands holding the bow and arrow,
and two hands holding the water pot and kamandalu,
and two hands holding the water pot, kamandalu,
and the sannyas danda.
and the sannyas danda.
Well, Sita wasn't very happy about this
Sita wasn't very happy about this
because it sounded like a losing deal in both ways.
because it sounded like a losing deal in both ways.
Because the devotees don't want to be separated from the Lord.
Because the devotees don't want to be separated from the Lord.
So, like that, we restarted,
So like that, we've restarted.
and Lord Chaitanya is very, very special.
And Lord Chaitanya is very special.
He is Krishna, but with the mood of Radharani,
He's Krishna, but with the mood of Radharani,
with the mood of a devotee.
with the mood of a devotee.
But before he sees Krishna, he is known as Nimai Pandit.
But before he sees Krishna, he's known as Nimai Pandit.
Although he's the same Krishna, he disguises himself.
Although he's the same Krishna, he disguises himself.
And he was the greatest Pandit, greatest scholar in the whole of Navadvip.
And he was the greatest Pandit, the greatest scholar in the whole of Navadvip.
And Navadvip was a city of scholars.
And Navadvip was a city of scholars.
And there was a conquering Pandit, and he would go to all the places
There was a conquering Pandit, and he would go to all the places
and defeat all other Pandits.
and defeat all the other Pandits.
It was called a Digvijay
He was called a Digvijay
from Kashmir.
from Kashmir.
So he was Keshav Kashmiri,
He was Keshav Kashmiri,
and he was a very dear devotee of Saraswati, the goddess of learning.
and he was a very dear devotee of Saraswati, the goddess of learning.
So he sent his challenge to all the pundits of Navadvip
So he sent his challenge to all the Pandits of Navadvip
who would come and debate with him.
who would come and debate with him.
He would debate with them and show he was greater.
He would debate with them and show that he was greater.
So he came and he was about to take his bath in the Ganges.
So he came and was about to take his bath in the Ganges.
And Nimai Pandit, his Sanskrit school
And Nimai Pandit, his Sanskrit school,
happened to be by the side of the Ganges.
happened to be by the side of the Ganges.
So then Nimai Pandit offered him respect. He said, "Oh, you're a very great scholar. We heard about you."
And Nimai Pandit offered him his respects and said, "Oh, you're a great Pandit, you're a great scholar. We've heard about you."
At that time, Nimai Pandit was very young.
At that time, Nimai Pandit was very young.
He said, "Maybe you can compose 100 verses in glorification of the Ganges."
He said, "Maybe you can compose 100 verses on the glorification of the Ganges."
And like the wind, he started to rattle off verses glorifying the Ganges.
And like the wind, he started to rattle off verses glorifying the Ganges,
Composing them on the spot.
composing them on the spot.
As he finished,
As he finished,
then Nimai Pandit asked him, "Oh, you're truly a great scholar."
then Nimai Pandit asked him, "Oh, you're truly a great scholar.
And in verse 56, what are the good points and bad points of your poetry?"
On your verse 56, what are the good points and bad points of your poetry?"
Like he memorized all the 100 verses as soon as he said them,
He memorized all the 100 verses as soon as he said them,
which is not possible for him, an ordinary person.
which is not possible for an ordinary person.
That itself amazed Keshav Kashmiri.
That itself amazed Keshav Kashmiri.
And then nothing wrong with my poetry.
There's nothing wrong with my poetry.
I'm not going into all the Lord Chaitanya showed some poetic alankars and poetic nice features.
Lord Chaitanya showed some poetic alankars and poetic nice features.
And then he showed some mistakes.
And then he showed some mistakes.
He showed that it says the Bhavani Bhartu.
He said that it says Bhavani Bhartu.
Bhavani is the husband, is the wife of Lord Shiva.
Bhavani is the wife of Lord Shiva.
And Bhartu is the husband,
And Bhartu is his husband,
her husband.
is her husband.
So by saying Bhavani Bhartu, it was confusing.
So by saying Bhavani Bhartu, it was confusing.
The wife of Lord Shiva's husband.
The wife of Lord Shiva's husband.
So, like that, he pointed out so many errors.
Like that, he pointed out so many errors.
But then he went and prayed to Saraswati.
But then he went and prayed to Saraswati.
Why is it you let me down at this time?
Why is it that you let me down at this time?
He said, "You're arguing with my husband."
She said, "You're arguing with my husband."
He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So then went to see Nimai Pandit alone,
So then he went to see Nimai Pandit,
and he asked, "Who are you actually?"
and he asked, "Who are you actually?"
And then he showed that he was actually Krishna.
Then he showed that he was actually Krishna.
So like this, there are so many pastimes of Lord Chaitanya.
So like this, there are so many pastimes of Lord Chaitanya.
And he has brought the Harinam to this universe
And he has brought the Harinam to this universe
as a Yuga Dharma.
as the Yuga Dharma.
And he has some personal, confidential reasons as well.
And he has some personal confidential reasons as well.
So, in the Brahma Vaivarta Puran,
So in the Brahma Vaivarta Puran,
there's a prediction that for 10,000 years will be a golden period.
there's a prediction that for 10,000 years there will be a golden period,
Very easy for people to get back to Golok Vrindavan.
where it will be very easy for people to get back to Golok Vrindavan.
And that will be brought in 5,000 years after the Kali Yuga begins.
And that will be brought in 5,000 years after the Kali Yuga begins.
Someone will come and spread the holy name all over the world.
Someone will come and spread the holy name all over the world.
Lord Chaitanya, he came 4,500 years after Kali Yuga.
So Lord Chaitanya came 4,500 years after the Kali Yuga.
And in the Chaitanya Mangal, he predicted that he'll preach all over India.
And in the Chaitanya Mangal, it's predicted that he will preach all over India.
And then he'll send a devotee, a Senapati Bhakta,
And then he will send a devotee, a Senapati Bhakta,
who will spread the message of Krishna consciousness
who will spread the message of Krishna consciousness
to the rest of the world.
to the rest of the world.
So His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami
So His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami,
appears to be the person that they're talking about,
appears to be the person that they are talking about,
because he was the first to spread the Harinam all over the world.
because he was the first to spread the Harinam all over the world.
He went to every continent,
He went to every continent,
and even subsequently, but no one who went to every continent.
and even subsequently, there's no one who went to every continent.
That's not his follower.
Sorry?
That's not his follower.
That is not his follower.
So, you're all very fortunate that you can take out Lord Chaitanya's mercy and also become a follower of Srila Prabhupada.
So you're all very fortunate that you can take up Lord Chaitanya's mercy and also be a follower of Srila Prabhupada.
So we've given out some papers if anyone has questions.
So we gave out some papers if anyone has any questions. Questions on this class. So this one says, Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accept sannyas?
Because the scripture predicts that this incarnation would be 24 years as a householder,
Of course, the Shastra predicts that this incarnation will be 24 years as a householder
and 24 years as a sannyasi.
and 24 years as a sannyasi.
As a grihastha, the other scholars tended not to take him very serious.
As a grihastha, the other scholars tended not to take him very seriously.
And although he gave them the absolute truth, they were, avoiding
And although he gave them the absolute truth, they were avoiding it.
So several things happened.
So several things happened.
Then he decided that if he was a sannyasi, he'd get respect.
Then he decided if he was a sannyasi, then he would get respect.
So at the age of 24, he took sannyas.
So at the age of 24, he took sannyas.